Hey, good morning. When Jenny types that, Jenny typed in the chat, "Good morning, hobby world." I hear that in Herman's voice. Good morning, hobby world, or good evening, hobby world. But I read that in Herman's voice. Zach and Porter, what is up? Good morning, no chat. Curious if you get a notification when I tag you in a video because we tagged you on our video from last night. Let me see. Let's see. I'm going through on Twitter. I do not see it. I did not get a Twitter notification. So I have to check that video out. Let's see. Card Hobbyist, what is up? Victor, good morning. TD Sports Cards, what is up? Jenny says in my head, it's in Herman's voice when I type it. 30-second ads. Is that new? I don't know. YouTube just rolls them out, or Google just rolls them out. I didn't get the notification either. I just saw it on YouTube this morning, added to the watch later. Very cool. I will throw that on after I go live here this morning. So what's up? A little late this morning because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to talk about. I've actually I got up earlier than the last few days, and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? And I actually was a little more I was on Twitter more. I was more involved instead of just typing a tweet out and hitting like and retweet like I have been. So I responded to some tweets yesterday, and this morning I'm like, what am I going to talk? I'm going to talk about one of those topics and I went to my Twitter and I got tired. I'm tired. And I'm not tired of the hobby. I'm tired of, maybe it's just the overall state of not just the hobby, but just the general state of life, the economy, gas prices, food prices, recession. I'm just tired of hearing all that. And of course it slips into the hobby, and I'm guilty. I probably bring it up every day, every morning on this show, and now I'm tired. And I'm tired of hearing it. I interacted and I shared my thoughts on Twitter last night on a couple things, but I'm just tired. So I thought, I'm gonna add on to what and I said, no, forget about it. Forget about it. I want to go back to the basics. I'm tired, but I still love cards. I still love selling cards. I still love buying cards. I still love Bowman U. And I still love junk wax. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just open some junk wax. I've got 89 Score, which I'm going to share a story about. 1989 Star Minor League, which is fun because I love minor league cards. Batman Returns. Some hockey. I've got a whole bunch of these, so I just want to open them. 91 Stadium Club Football, so we'll look for a Brett Favre rookie in there. And DC Comics Skybox from 1994. Don't know anything about that, but figure, hey, it's cards. I like cards. Let's do it. So I'm just tired of all of the crap that's going on in the world, like not just in the hobby world, but just generally. The stocks are down. Don't look at your 401k. I don't understand why people, especially my age, you're 40 years old and you're worrying about what your 401k balance is. Why? It's going to go up and down 30 more times before you even dip into it. So just don't look. Don't look at your stock portfolio. Just don't look. It's going to go back. Crypto. And what I don't get is people like, it's almost like a nana boo boo. Look at crypto. It's like the I told you so's are out. Crypto's down. NFTs are down. Like, why do we root for people to fail? Or why do we root for things to fail? Just because you're not into crypto, you're not into NFTs. I don't like NFTs. But I don't frankly give a shit what NFTs do. And I don't understand why people get a hard on for the failure of the NFT market or the crypto market. Like, oh, I told you so. Bitcoin's down. Bitcoin's still high. Bitcoin at its initial like run up in 2017 hit 20K. I bought in on the run up. And guess what? It dropped down to like 3,000. Like it's at 20,000. I think it fell below 20,000 for the first time in a year. It hit 20,000 in 2017. It didn't even get close to that for 3 years. And it dropped to 3,000. So it's probably going to drop even more, and it's probably going to run back up. So I don't understand all of the, like, I told you so's, and like, I'm tired of that. It's Tuesday. Oh, it's Wednesday. I actually woke up. I thought it was Friday. I'm like, I don't have I woke up this morning and I'm like, I don't have a topic. Oh, it's Friday. I'll do a free for all Friday. And then part of me says, great. It's just a free for all Friday. And I don't have to think of a thumbnail to use or a topic to talk about. It's just a free for all Friday. And then part of me panicked because, oh crap, it's Friday. That means the card show's tomorrow and I'm not prepared. And then I realized, oh, it's only Tuesday. Oh no, it's Wednesday. So here we are. It's garbage day. So I'm going to go into the chat. So no more, I'm not going to, well, I'll read your chats, but, let's just talk about cards. Let's go back to the basics and open some junk wax. David is with us. What is up? Diego says, talk Cubs. I don't want to talk Cubs. Oh my God. And the Cubs suck too. I mean, that sucks. That just adds to my disappointment, in the world today. Now, they got creamed by the Pirates last night. What was the final score? 7-2 or something? But the Pirates are pretty good. Like, I know they have a below 500 record, but they've got some young talent. O'Neal Cruz is back up. Cabrian Hayes is good. So they've got some good talent. John says, rarely talk modern hobby on my show. Happy accident. There you go. John says, the commute is wearing on you. Good morning, stupid ads. Ron Johnson setting the tone today. We added you on our video description. A thank you, not on Twitter. Oh, okay. I don't think I received a notification for that. Very cool. I will check that out. Ed, what is up? Good morning to you. John, I want to go back to John's. The commute is wearing on you. I think it is. And it's not the commute. It's the lack of commute, because I don't get a commute. I do. It's down the stairs into my basement. Although I did spend a good amount of time yesterday. We had like heat index 105 to 110. My wife like steps outside and like wants to melt. And I'm like, hey, let's go. I turned the sprinklers on. So I was moving the sprinklers around the backyard. I just sat down and enjoyed the heat yesterday afternoon. So I loved it. So I was able to get outside a little bit. TD says, let's talk about the difference in sales between vintage, modern, and ultra modern. Let's see. John says, rarely talk modern hobby. Cubs game horrible. Sox game was exciting to watch. David, what is up? Good morning to you. Zach and Porter, I love the hobby more than ever. We have so much fun, and there are so many cards to get. 89 score baseball is underrated. I love 89 score. We're going to open a pack today. Jenny says, I'm tired of some cards not moving on eBay, so I'm dropping prices right now. Got to move these, or I'll have to put up my store to list more. I've done really well this week. I added over 400, I think 425 listings added on Monday. I did about 120 yesterday. Try to get my 100 in today. And then that's going to probably decrease as I get closer to the weekend and the card show and all that stuff. John, and this is a great point. Someday this will be the good old days. And when I think of that, I constantly think of my time in radio. And this was probably, gosh, I don't know, 2005, 6, 7, the years they all run together. But I'd say around 2005, let's just say that. And I worked small market radio, and I always looked forward to election night. Why? Well, because I was poor, because I worked in radio, and I was in my 20s. And election night meant free pizza. And since I was like 20, how old was I? 23, 24. I was like the young guy. So I got the leftovers, like anything that was left from election night pizza, I took home and I had meals for, a few days, leftover pizza. So loved election night. So I remember 2005, I'm 23, 24 years old. It's after election night coverage. Toward the end of our coverage, somebody goes and runs and gets a 12 pack of Bud Light or whatever beer. And so we wrap up our coverage and we just hang out, drink beer, eat some pizza. And we're sitting on the stoop. So the radio station I worked at was in downtown Macomb. And there was like a kind of a little stoop and it was right off the downtown on, Carroll Street, I think. It turned into like once the ownership group that I worked for sold it, they basically just didn't use that radio station because they combined it with the existing radio station in town that bought it. Turned into like a thrift shop or something. So sad times. But anyway, so we'd sit on the stoop. There are a couple steps, and it was kind of fun because it was like right next door to like one of the college bars. It was like the frat bar in town, the frat and sorority bar. So it was good people watching at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night, probably. Actually, probably was pretty dead on a Tuesday night. But and I remember, and I'm going to get to the point here in a second. I have 48 minutes to fill. But to John's point of someday this will be the good old days. And I remember that 2005, we're sitting on the stoop, drinking Bud Light. I'm the young guy, 23, 24 years old. Chris and Mike are, two of my elders in radio. Mike was the news guy. Chris was the sports director before, he moved on to greener pastures and worked at the university. And they were probably, how old? They were probably 15 years older than me. So they were in their mid 30s at the time, mid to late 30s. And they're talking about the good old days and how, sharing their, and it's like, oh man, that would have been so awesome to work at K100, 10 years prior, because it was the good old days, 1995, it was the good old days. And guess what? In 1995, they were probably the young guys, and guys 15 years older than them were talking about 1985 and being the good old days. And so I thought about that in 2005, and I'm like, man, the good old days. And I remember that conversation with Mike and Chris out on the stoop. And about 10 years later, now I'm kind of, actually I wasn't even around 10 years later in 2015, but 5 years later, I remember doing election night coverage, and it just wasn't the same. I think Mike was still with us, but Chris had gone on to a different job. And it was just, by that point, Mike was, 5, 7 years older. I was 5, 7 years older. Now I'm not the young guy anymore. We've got college kids and recent grads working. And now we're talking about, oh man, back in 05, me, Mike, and Chris, we just hung out till midnight on the stoop, man, the good old days. And it's just, that's how it is. This is the good old days for somebody. And, you look at the young kids who think 1991 is vintage. It is vintage to them. To us, it's junk wax or, 90s. That feels like yesterday. But this is vintage to somebody. That's one of many sidebars this morning. And that only 2 or 3 minutes. Let's see. Card Hobbyist says, I stay off Twitter because it's countless scrolling of people complaining about everything in existence. And yes, I realize the irony of me complaining about Twitter here. Well said. Johnny Boy Cards, good morning. Pacific, best trading card creativity. Yeah, Pacific was great company back then, because people ignore cautionary tales. Zach and Porter says, watch your mouth or I will wrench this whole damn channel. The bots will find you. DR says, I was up where skipped ahead. DR says, where am I at? DR says, well, son of a biscuit. Well, the good thing is we've got a lot of chat to go through. I was wondering if the invention of the card data tools like Card Ladder and Market Movers forces people's psychology to sell when they see their cards dipping in value. That's a good thought and a good question. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it in some cases, because think about, I mean, even myself, I get caught up in FOMO sometimes. Sometimes I create that FOMO. Bowman U. Who's bought Bowman U? But sometimes I get a little panic sets in. So in one case in particular, I caught a little FOMO, and this was just a couple months ago, maybe not even 2 months ago. I saw some tweets about the women's soccer cards, and I'm like, damn, I see these in Walmart all the time. Like, nobody's buying these here at my stores, and I see a few people on social media like, oh, these are awesome deals. So I run to a Walmart, I find like 15 hanger boxes. I'm like, damn, I'm in. Buy them all. Put them on eBay. They're not selling. And eventually it's like, man, I'm just gonna move these. And I did make a small profit. I made, like, I think after shipping and fees, about $30, which is okay. But for $30, it probably took a month to move. It tied up, I don't know what, $200, and to make $30. Yeah, $30 is $30, but I could have used that $200 on 10 blasters of Bowman U or something. I don't know. But I think some of these tools could affect people's psychology on, oh crap, my Luka rookie is dropped 75% in the last 6 months. I don't want it to drop 175%. I need to sell. But I think that's just generally speaking. Especially today, we're such an on-demand. We want it now more than ever. And we don't see the big picture a lot of times, like with crypto. A lot of people within cards, a lot of people, and I think the one like conversation that I was in on Twitter was Ryan's Cards LLC, and he's a big time seller. And I was curious. I was more so curious when he like got into the hobby, because some of the thought processes I feel are the newer within the last 2 or 3 years. And he said, like, I think Bowman in 2019. So even though he was pre-pandemic, it was still, the hobby was still already on this ascent. And now it was climbing like this, and then the pandemic hit, and then it went like that. But it was still ascending at that time. And when you don't see a decline, you're kind of blinded by, oh, it's gonna, and really right now the hobby is ahead of where it was in 2019 still, even though we see this as a steep decline. So yes, I do think there's a little bit of truth into all of the data that's available. It may force, it may make us think differently, and make sometimes irrational decisions. Jenny says it's your garbage day. Yes, only garbage today. My wife last night, she says, is tomorrow recycle day too? And I'm like, no, because the cleaners come on Monday of garbage day only. So I'm like, no, it's just garbage. And she's like, oh crap, because it's full. I'm like, how is it full? It's only been 4 days. And I didn't believe her. I had to go out and check for myself. I'm like, it can't. Holy crap, it's full. So we have another week before it's recycle day. John says just because crypto was up doesn't mean it'll happen again. Common sense needs to prevail. And I'll add, just because it's declining doesn't mean it's going to go to zero. I think there's some middle ground. I agree, common sense needs to prevail. Will it bounce back to 50 or 60,000? Maybe. Hell, it could hit 200,000. I don't think any of us can really, when it comes to crypto, I don't think any of us can, well, I know none of us can predict what it's going to do. But yeah, I think we can use our common sense, and we can look at trends, and see what it's done in the past, what it could potentially do in the future. But I do think it's, I would, I mean, as much as I would put all these Bowman U blasters on the line and say it's going to hit 25,000, 30,000, heck, 50,000 again. Crypto is so volatile, and especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like the established cryptocurrency. It'll go back up. TD Sports Card says, I've been slowly buying more stocks in crypto while it's down. It's a great time to buy. Not just for stocks and crypto, but things in general. Well, I shouldn't paint with such a broad brush. Sports cards, great time as long as you're buying the right things at the right price. But yes, it's a lot of things are on quote sale. Card Hobbyist says, I made $2,000 off of Dogecoin, which sounds awesome if you don't pay attention to the fact that I could have had 700K if I didn't sell too early. I was in the same boat. I made like $500, but I could have made 120,000 had I waited 3 months. That's all it took, 3 months, and my $400 or $500 could have turned into 125 or 150,000. I can't remember. Trying to forget, but I keep reminding myself. George, what is up? Victor says, I work for a trading firm, clients bringing in money to trade. Jenny says, did you cook your eggs on your driveway and your pizza on the hood of your car in the 105? I didn't. And actually, it wasn't as hot yesterday as I had expected. They were predicting heat index of 105 to 110. It didn't feel that hot. I don't know. Maybe it was, but my wife, I probably should not have said this in the way that I did. My wife comes home and she's just like drenched in like miserable. And I'm like, it's not as hot as I thought it would be today. That was the wrong thing to say. But it wasn't. And it's supposed to be much cooler. It's only 71 right now. I think it's only going to be 83 today. So, our short little heat wave is come to an end. Justin, what is up, my friend? Good morning to you. Mark Hoyle with us. Good morning. Here I said I wasn't going to talk about all the doom and gloom, and the first 25 minutes I've talked about the doom and gloom. Going back to my commute before I moved closer to my office, I felt like I had more time to decompress from work. Definitely. I actually enjoyed my commutes, my longer commutes. When I worked, go back to my radio stories, I lived in town. I lived in Macomb, and it was like a 5-minute drive to work. Then when the radio station sold, I stayed with my company and still lived in Macomb and commuted to Monmouth and Galesburg. It was about a 35-minute drive. I would go the local one of the gas stations, I think it's a chain, might be like a Midwest chain, Aerco. And some people called it Ayerco, Ayerco. So I'd go to the Aerco because it was only a couple blocks from my house. At that time I was into cappuccino, and then I realized how much sugar and crap was in cappuccino, especially the gas station ones. So then I went to coffee, and I really enjoyed. I'd get like 2 of those 25-cent granola bars and a large coffee, and listen to whatever was on the radio. And it was a great time to, I enjoyed my commute to work much more than the commute home, because on the way to work, I was able to kind of plan out my day in my head as I drove, listen to some music and just kind of get my day started. But the drive home sucked because I just wanted to get home. It's like, I hate this 35. It's like I'm driving, I'm cruising to work in the morning, and like, man, I really like this. This coffee's good, even though it's Erico gas station coffee. The summer smells, it's good. And then on the drive home, I'm like, pedal to the metal. God, I hate this 35-minute drive. I just want to get home. Cooter, what's up? Good morning. TD says, at Victor, I just tripled down on CEI this morning, looking for a $1.50 to 2 exit in 3 to 4 months. Scotty Dubs, what is up? Good morning. Zach and Porter, I bought from Bo this morning. Very nice. Thank you. DR says, 2 quick card updates. I ordered a 400 count lot of Harry Potter stickers and cards for my girls who are 9 and 7, and they were so excited when I surprised. That's awesome. Second, my NFL Prism Blasters should arrive in the mail today. Very cool. Now we know the origin story of Bo's cold pizza. There it is. Are you ripping or leaving sealed, Dan? Talking about Prism. There's Herman. Good morning. Victor, the rookie card specialist. What is up? So I'm getting ready to do a sale because I have many cards being watched. However, I don't have a store yet. Been waiting to get my inventory up. Can I still run a sale or send offers? I don't think so, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure what your eBay back end looks like. If you have the like the eBay summary, eBay sales page, but I'm pretty sure. Now I'm not 100% sure. I think you have to have a store, and you may only have to have like the most basic cheap store, and I think that one's only like $5. That may allow you go to eBay help and look at the store subscription description, and it may tell you if you can, because if you can do like the $5 a month, I mean, it's probably worth it to have the benefit of offering offers, sending offers, and offering sales with that $5. But I don't know if if you have to have the higher end, the basic store and the premium store. DR says, random eBay promotion update. I ran a BOGO promotion, had 16 sales, but only one person did the buy one, get one. The other 15 sales were single purchases. I don't get it either. I do not get that. And I mean, I've said many times, I'll have, say, $100 card in my eBay store, and and I haven't. I've got to reenact. Is that I have to restart my buy 3 or more and get 15% off. I have the 7 or more for 25% off. I need to get the 3 started again. But I would have $100 card. You could come into my store and get 15% off if you bought 2. And I have 99-cent cards. You could buy 2 99-cent cards and save 15. So you're saving $13 and getting 2 free cards. And I'd have people, and it's like, oh man, it's like somebody wants this $250 card or $500 card. It's like, oh man, they can get a really good deal on this if they buy 2 99-cent cards. And every once in a while, people would take advantage of that. But a lot of times not. Tracy, good morning to you. TD Sports Cards asking DR about his listings. Jenny, good question. Victor, not sure on that. Do you see a marketing or promotions tab at the top on your desktop? Let's see. Where are we at here? Oh, skipped ahead again. Card Hobbyist says, when I was 34, a 19-year-old called me old. I told him one day when he's in his 30s, somebody would call him old, and for him to remember this exact moment when that happens. Absolutely. I just turned 40, and I remember 40 being like, oh my God, you're that, like 40 is a grandpa age. And now it's like, here I am. And it's weird how age affects us like that over time. And, I was just thinking about this, really great lady from my hometown passed away. She was really good friends with my aunt. And she is the grandmother to many kids that I went to school with. And she was 84, and I'm like, God, it's just like, it's crazy to think. It's like, man, 84 is it's not, it's not that old. And I think more so because I didn't think of her as 84. And then I thought, she's got, she was grandma to people my age. And then like some of her grandkids have, I know at least one of her grandkids is in college. And it's like, that would have been, her great grandma. And like, I never knew any of my great grandparents. They had all passed away before I was born. And that's just like, I don't know. It's sometimes things like that hit you and it's like, huh. Cooter says cards are the connection to the good old days for many of us. Absolutely agree. Mark says, damn, I feel old. Remember 1972 election night. TD Sports Cards, laughing at Mark. Cooter was thinking last night, if you were new to Twitter, how did you meet Bo? Was it through YouTube? Abraham, what is up? Good morning. Let's see. Victor is not in front of his PC at the moment. Haven't noticed any promo marketing tab. I do see send eligible offers. Basically, everyone who is watching any of my cards, maybe time to open a store. So yes, so you can send offers then. You can send offers, but as far as the promos, I'm not sure. Diego says your FOMO on Bowman U is showing. Mother-in-law gave me a big tub of old matchbooks. She told me to see if I could sell them off to eBay. They go. Very cool. I personally do see a lot of benefits of having a store. You also get the free supplies, get a 100-count box of bubble mailers every quarter with my code. I do. I get the. I now have to pay. Back, a year or two ago, I could get 200 bubble mailers, and I get these. I would get 200 bubble mailers, and like I would have like $3 or $4 left over for my coupon. So this is what I use. But now for 200, I have to pay like $7 because it's like $52 plus tax. So, and I get a $50 code. So it ends up costing me like $6 or $7. Let's see. Tracy asks, is there a range of prices for an eBay store? There is, all the way down from like, the cheapest I think is like $5, which I'm not really sure the benefits of. There's really no listing benefits for the $5 option because it's the same amount as not having a store. But I think it's kind of like getting your feet wet, and I'm sure they open a few different things. I'm gonna actually look here for you. eBay store. Let's see. Let's open an eBay store and see what our options are. We've got. Okay, this doesn't. It's funny because there's so many. Windows. Okay, here we go. So there's a starter store, $4.95 per month. That's with a 1-year plan. Otherwise, it's $7.95 on a monthly basis. For anyone, for sellers who want an entry-level solution. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, so you do get a promotions manager. You get the markdown. You get subscriber discounts. So yeah, so Victor, a starter store, you can do it for a month for $7.95 to try it out. Otherwise, if you do a year-long subscription, it's $4.95, and I think you have to pay that up front, that $4.95 times 12. So what's that? $60. The basic store is $21.95 if you do a year subscription. Otherwise, it's $27.95 on a monthly basis. This will drop your selling fees. So you'll get lower selling fees. Let's see. Then the premium is $60 a month, $59.95 with the 1-year plan. Otherwise, it's $75 on a month-to-month basis. The anchor store is $300 a month. That's for high volume. But I have the premium store, and I have, I think, 61,000 monthly listings, which, I'm still, a fourth of the way there. So those are some of the options. So to answer Victor's original question, yes, if you get the starter store for just $5 a month, you have access to that promotions manager. So that's a good option. Let's see. Wondering how much it will cost if and when I go past the free 250. Yeah, so past the 250, you can go up to the $22. Do it for a year, and then that way you'll save a few bucks on the doing it for a year long. And actually, now that I speak that out, I don't think you have to pay all of that up front. I think you have to basically lock in that deal. They charge you, say for the starter store, say you lock in the $4.95. I'm gonna commit to a year. They will charge you monthly. They will charge you $5 a month. But if you unsubscribe, there's a termination fee, and it does say that an early termination fee could apply. So be wary of that. But it does not, because I got to thinking, it's like, well, they charge I have a year's, the year subscription, but they charge me monthly. So that's how that works. Tracy says, how many listings does that give you? Let's see. Jenny's answering that. With a $27 store, I get 1,000 free. Buy it now. All categories, 10,000 free. Buy it now. Select categories, and sports cards is one of those. Bo has the $60, I believe, store. He has 50,000 free. Buy it now in those select categories. Let's see. Yep, and that's I get the 50,000 on select, the 10,000 on any category, and then I think it's 500 auctions or whatever that I don't use. TD Sports Cards, I use the $60 store also, just didn't utilize it the past 2 years until this year. Bo talking about people's back ends this morning. Jenny asked, there's a $5 store. Yes, it's fairly new because they've added 2 stores within the last year and a half, 2 years. There's a starter store and an enterprise store. So the starter store, $5 per month with that 1-year plan. Enterprise store is $3,000. What does the enterprise store even get you? I've never looked into it. So for $3,000 per month, you get 100,000 listings per month, 2,500 auctions. Let's see. And I don't think there's really a fee differential. I'm not going to go look. Because I don't think I'm ever going to spend $3,000 for an eBay store per month. Johnny says, I'm in the same boat, thinking of opening a store as well. Card Hobbyist, the cheap store, you only get 250 free listings. That jumps up to 10,000 free listings in sports cards for the next tier up. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, every time Bo buys Bowman U, he says under his breath, Dogecoin may have won last time, but Bo is winning this time. Let's see. I enjoy my drive to work because I get to listen to Bo and everyone else's thoughts. Johnny says, so the cheap store is only 250 listings. Yeah, so the cheap store, the $5 store is the same amount of listings that you would get without a store, but you are open to subscriber discounts. You can do promotions, you can do buy one get one, you can do a volume discount with that store where you cannot without an eBay store. You're welcome for the store insights. Let's see. Jenny says they charge you up front at 2 months, I believe. I forget how mine worked. Just read into the details when signing up. So that's some eBay store talk. So yeah, if you want to dabble and take advantage of some of the store, I would say do that $5 a month. You're not going to get any more listings. If you want a store for more listings, go with the basic to start and then scale up. And that's what so when I started, there were 3 stores, basic, premium, and anchor. And so I had the basic store. And then once I got to 1,000 listings, then I bumped it up to the premium store. And you get a slight discount on fees. Once you go to the premium, you get an extra, I think the basic store coupon for supplies is $25. Premium, you get $50. That's per quarter. I typically only use it on bubble mailers. I did buy some boxes about a year ago that I'm still using. I just use them for junk cards that I'm bulking out. So those are some eBay store insights. Let's open some cards. No more doom and gloom talk. 40 minutes in. Let's start with the one that I want to open the least. It's 94 Skybox, DC Comics. Not even sure. I think my buddy John, who's a dealer at the Madison Card Show, which by the way is this Saturday. Oh, before I open this pack, John Gruber, shout out to John. Awesome packs. This Saturday, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive, 9 to 3, free admission, 120 tables. I'm one table shy of 120. Right now, I've got 119 confirmed. So just to be transparent, not 120 book tables, but 119 book tables. So come on out, see us this Saturday. One of the most recent tables I booked was Tom. He's the guy that I bought all of the Cubs tub with like 10,000 Cubs cards and some of those autographs. He reached out to me yesterday. He goes, hey, I want to set up this Saturday, and I've got another Cubs tub for you. So more Cubs coming my way this Saturday. Let's see. Jenny says if Bo ever gets to needing the $3,000 store, he's going to not be in Madison. He's going to be floating on the ocean on his ship. If listing does not sell after 30 days, do you guys end the listing or have it auto-renewed? Everything I have is auto-renewed. Everything is auto-renewed. I'll make sales that have been in my eBay store for 2 or 3 years. And it's like, holy crap, I can't believe that sold. Usually just, I can't believe that sold. So this is DC Comics, 1994 Skybox. Here's Supergirl. So I know nothing about comic books or these cards, so I don't know what any of these people are. These superheroes. Arsenal. These were really bricked together. Hawk Woman. I don't know if anybody's a DC Comics fan. Virus and Pulse. Like, I've never even heard of these characters. The Demon. The Demon. It's cool art, though. I do like that. Oh, I've heard of Catwoman and Catwoman. The Hit. Let's see. Let's go. I want to make. Oh, I think it's all. Let's do hockey because that's probably the second least I want to open up. So this is Parkhurst. I did open one of these on the show a few weeks ago, and it was a real dud, real crappy pack. Here's Dennis Savard of the Montreal Canadiens. Here's Dmitry Kristich of the Washington Capitals. Jenny says, I never end anything auto relist, which is part of why I'm dropping prices today. Bowman isn't as hot as when it was listed. Time to drop. Yep. Amen to that. Patrick Waugh. He's already a better player than any of the cards I pulled in the last pack I opened. Let's see. Dave Taylor, Los Angeles Kings. Victor says the renew counts against your monthly listings. Yes, it does. So yeah, it'll count again for the next month. Mike Richter, New York Rangers. I've heard of him too. Oh, and I've heard of this guy, Doug Gilmour. Calgary Flames. Let's see. Is 1 million Cubs setting up this weekend? No. I thought about it. Bob Airy, Pittsburgh Penguins. I did think about it. I was thinking of ways that I could make it work. Including calling in my assistant, my mom. Hey, do you want to come up to Madison and watch my table at the show? But when I had like 10 open tables on Sunday or Monday, it's like, oh man, I might just have to throw stuff on a table just so I don't have empty tables. But I have filled them, so not in any rush. Although I do expect to take some late cancels. Mario Lemieux. Man, this pack is loaded. Patrick Waugh, Mario Lemieux. Hockey players I've heard of. I've not heard of Kevin Miller, though. Detroit Red Wings. Darian Hatcher, the Minnesota North Stars. Let's see. Chris Terreri, goalie of the Devils. And this one has like 1,000 marker. 1,000 point club. Michel Goulet. So that's hockey. So now we got hockey and and comic books out of the way. So now it's on to the fun stuff for me. Let's go with, we got 2 baseball, a football, and a Batman. Let's go with Star Baseball. This is a fun one. Let's see. LOL for a guy that doesn't know hockey. Those are pretty household names. Patrick Waugh and Mario Lemieux are pretty household names. Rick Morris, Greenville Braves. Is he a manager? Nope, he's an infield. He just looks like a manager. So I was gonna comment on the I'm like, man, he's got the Ditka mustache. He's from Chicago. That is a Chicago mustache right there. Rick Morris, Chicago stash. He is from Chicago. Jim Vatcher, I've heard of him. He made it to the bigs with the Phillies. Jenny says not in this household. Mark Griffin, Dodgers. Here's a guy who not only played in the big leagues but managed. Is he the Mariners manager? Scott Service, and he played for the Cubs. Here he is with the Osceola Astros. Brett Barbary, another guy that made the big leagues with the Expos. And I think he was married to Jillian Barbary, who was on the Fox NFL pregame show. Here's Mickey. They called him Mike. Mickey Morandini. I wonder if his name actually was Mike. Diego can probably know. I bet Diego knows this. Is he still with us? Or John might know this. Was Mickey Morandini's real name Mike? I bet it was. And his nickname was Mickey. Todd Crosby, St. Petersburg Cardinals. He was born in St. Louis. Bobby Davidson. Oh, the next card's going to be really cool. Bobby Davidson of the Albany Yankees. This is a cool card. Rod Beck. Rest in peace, Rod. Played for the Cubs. Longtime big leaguer, Rod Beck. That's a cool card. And John Ramos, another Albany Yankee. John Ramos. I love those Star minor league cards. It's a fun set, and they're cool looking cards. Let's do Batman. Batman Returns. So this is not the set that I collected. This is from 91. I collected the original movie from 19. Okay. None of that makes sense. Oh, this is like so these are tops, but then there's like a Stadium Club insert. That's pretty cool. So this is, who is that guy? Is that it's not the Joker. Anybody know who this guy is? He's a bad guy. So this is Batman Returns. And it doesn't say. It just says, director Tim Burton enjoys creating a universe from scratch, whether it's the colorful suburban neighborhood of Edward Scissorhands or the dark, seething urban landscape of the Batman films. Penguin! Thank you, Diego. Penguin. Here we go. Let Her Go. That's Danny DeVito. Wow. I know that's Batman. Oswald Cobblepot. Through a Window Harshly. Let's see. Cycling Psychos. I don't know if I ever watched this movie, Batman Returns. Beck was brutal. He couldn't get it out until he first loaded the bases. That seems like that was the every Cubs closer we had. Here's Innocent Victim. Does she have a name? The Ice Princess. I think that's the Ice Princess. Michael Robert Morandini. So it was Mike. And they just called him Mickey. The plan to destroy Batman. That's Catwoman. And the Penguin. Let's see. Human Flamethrower. Batman Returns from 1991. And Nightmare as a Child. Oop. So there we go. So we got Batman out of the way. 2 more packs. We've got 89 score and 91 Stadium Club football. Let's go football. 91 Stadium Club football. I could not afford these as a 9-year-old. I was probably buying Batman. Actually, I wasn't buying Batman Returns. I was probably buying 91. I remember opening a lot of 91 Donruss baseball. 91 Tops. I was opening a ton of 91 Tops and 91 Donruss. I didn't get into Fleer that much in 91. I loved 90 Fleer, but I didn't get into 91 Fleer. Maybe it was that ugly yellow. So here we've got Charles Mann. I couldn't afford Upper Deck, couldn't afford Stadium Club, couldn't afford Action Packed. Eric Moten, rookie card, San Diego Chargers. Here we've got the Stadium Club membership card. We've got Tim McGee of the Cincinnati Bengals. These are bricked pretty bad too. Tim McGee. We've got Herschel Walker, Minnesota Vikings. Carl Zander, Zach and Porter, have a great day. Carl Zander, Cincinnati Bengals. Brian Brennan of the Browns. Scott Service from Coon Valley, Wisconsin. I did not realize he was a Wisconsin guy. Chicago Bears, Mark Bortz. Mark Bortz, what a card. Bortz. Tom Rathman, fullback for the 49ers. Let's see. Wade Wilson, Minnesota Vikings quarterback. Hit that like button if you liked today's show. If you didn't, hit the like button anyway. Henry Ellard, Rams wide receiver. We've got Terrence Mathis of the Jets. And William Fuller of the Oilers. All right. And 89 score. I talked about this, I think yesterday. Loved 89 score. I think a lot of it is nostalgia for me. And I remember my dad, and I think Dan, DR, what's up, Boom Slang? Card Hobbies saw it in the theaters. Oh, excuse me, the picture show. So I think DR mentioned it on Twitter, and regarding Father's Day and were your father's instrumental in your card collecting. And my dad really wasn't. My dad, when I was growing up, was not really into sports. Like, he would watch football on Sundays, but he wasn't like into sports. And, you know, he would did not really encourage my card collecting. He was a gearhead, you know, worked in the shop, you know, all that stuff. Didn't really do cards. So we did not share that. However, every once in a while he would, you know, give me 35 cents for a pack of cards, or, you know, I remember in its 89 score. It's funny how some of these memories stick with you. 1989. You know, my mom was probably at work. And my dad was going to help like one of his friends in his garage build something, I imagine. And we stopped at the IGA, and he bought me a pack of 89 score. My dad didn't really buy me that many cards. Like, it might have been the only pack of cards he bought me. I don't know. But I remember that he bought a pack of 89 score, and we went to his friend's house on the other side of town. And, you know, I never got into like fixing cars and building things. Like, I was into sports and baseball cards. So I remember sitting in his truck, opening a pack of 89 score, and it may have been my first pack of 89 score. And I remembered how cool these cards looked, like bright picture, like a big picture. It was color on the back with pictures on the back and the stats. And I would read. It was like the only thing I enjoyed reading as a child was the back of baseball cards. So 89 score has that special place in my heart. Jose Lind, Pittsburgh Pirates. Boomslang went through a box of 94 Bowman baseball yesterday and had to throw out almost 400 cards because they were severely bricked. I hate that. When I get bulk collections, they'll be like, especially when you get into like the 90s and the early 2000s, especially like Upper Deck. Oh man, those bricks so bad. Mark Davidson, Minnesota Twins. We've got Ron Darling of the New York Mets. When I think of Ron Darling, the first thing I think of is the episode of Who Watched D-Brick in the Fridge. I actually have heard that. If you put it in the freezer, it helps with de-bricking. I don't know about the microwave, though. So when I think of Ron Darling, there was an episode of Who Watched TGIF on ABC, the show Step by Step. and Cody, the cousin, came up with this like riddle, whatever. It was Ivana Trump. Like, what if Ivana Trump married Neil Diamond? Ivana Diamond. What if Ivana Trump divorced Neil Diamond and married Jack Nicklaus? Ivana Diamond Nicholas. What if she divorced Jack Nicklaus and married Ron Darling? Ivana Diamond Nicholas Darling. So that's how I remember Ron Darling. Let's see. George says, does your shirt say Anawan? It does. It's our mascot is Chief Anawan, and the headdress, which this is probably not PC. I'm sure it's not PC. So this is the mascot, Chief Anawan. That the headdress spells out Anawan. And this was actually the mascot logo was designed by my art teacher, my high school art teacher. Well, my grade school, junior high, and high school art teacher. He was all three in one. Mr. Adams, who passed away about a year ago. I think he designed this in like the 70s. So yes, I'm sure it's not PC, but yes, it spells out Anawan. For me, the difference of 88 score from 87 sets was bigger than the 88 sets to 89 upper deck. Card Hobbyist has tried the fridge, freezer, and microwave. Microwave worked best, but will wreck any card with foil on it. I thought that was a joke. I didn't know John was being serious about the microwave. LOL, the mic is picking up the cards being peeled off each other. Ken is with us. There's Walt Weiss. He was a big-time stud in 89. Jesse Barfield, who's very active on Twitter. Toronto Blue Jays. I hate these now. And I just throw them away. Joe Ducky Medwick takes the Triple Crown, 1937. I'm going to toss it. Mackie Sasser, what a name. Ken says, so Mr. Adams was your Mr. Feeney. He moved up every year with you. Yeah. Chris Spire, San Francisco Giants. Juan Augusto, Houston Astros. Mr. Feeney. Barry Jones. George says, I would have never known or noticed, but it caught my eye since you talked about the fun days recently. George Bell, Toronto Blue Jays. Tom Bolton of the Red Sox. Another Red Sox, Mike Boddicker. Craig Worthington. Oh, we got a rookie card. Craig Worthington. Gerald Clark, another rookie. And Rene Gonzalez. So that's 89 score. Love 89 score. So that's what I had for today. Just wanted to open some junk wax. I said I didn't want to talk about all the crap. And I spent 20, 30 minutes talking about the crap. That's what we do around here. So thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel. Back on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. Don't forget this Saturday is the Madison Card Show. Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 120 tables. Going to be a fun time. So come on out. My card show schedule, I will be set up at the Janesville, Wisconsin Card Show on Sunday, July 3rd. So I'll be there. I think I'm going to adjust my bargain box strategy again. I think I'm going to create all new quarter boxes. But I don't think I'm going to sleeve all the cards. I think I'm just going to put them in boxes. And I know that's like not my thing. Like I want to sleeve all quarter cards, but it takes so much time. And I just don't want to spend time sleeving a bunch of quarter cards. So I think I'm going to raw dog my quarter boxes. So that sounded really dirty. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do quarter box. I did put an order in from BCW. So I've got some new monster boxes coming in so I can get those created, those new bargain boxes created. George asks, have you sold that Michael Bolton? No, but it is on the, it's next in line to get listed on eBay. All of the Michael Bolton softball cards are next up. I'm going to do, I think my listings today, I'm going to do football. I started last night with some file exchange and Probably do another baseball because I did a lot of football the last day or two. Yes, the Michael Bolton softball cards are in. John Nolan Drive. Cooter says drink. Jenny says I've never had issues with no sleeved quarter boxes, but Boomslang says goodbye to those sharp corners. And that's why I've been avoiding it, because you load them in, you load them out, they get moved around in the back of your car, truck, SUV. So that has been my concern with not sleeving my quarter boxes. But it's at that point where it's like, is it worth my time to sleeve everything? And I just don't have the time. Card Hobbyist says quarter box raw dog, the new album from the Bowman U's, dropping this weekend. Jenny says I do have issues with sleeved cards though, because they slide all over the place. They slip out of my hand. It's impossible to search them quickly as a buyer. And that is a problem. Like, especially like I'll pull a pile out and all of a sudden they fly all over the place. John says, what category do you use for the Bolton collection? eBay actually simplified the category. So now it's just, when I do file exchange, it's just 213 and it's trading card singles. I think that's the category, trading card singles. So it's real easy. So that's it's trading card singles. And then I'm not sure, like the subcategory, I'll probably just put MLB. I don't know, since it's a baseball card. Jenny needs to use Stickum, another great 70s innovation. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. Like and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow morning.